Welcome to Meldon Law and Friends. I'm Jeffrey Meldon, founder and attorney at Meldon Law. We've been serving all of Florida, in particular North Central Florida, since 1971, and it's a great honor to help you all out in the event of a serious accident. So please give us a call if you have the need. My guest today is Lisa Bolton from the Dandelion Project. Welcome to the show, Lisa.
Thank you for having me again.
Yeah, Lisa was a guest before on the show, and we were so encouraged by the work that she's doing that we decided to have her back and bring awareness to the Dandelion Project and some of the events coming up. Lisa, why don't you talk to us a little bit about the Dandelion Project, your involvement, and how you got it started. In other words, just pick up, the Dandelion.
Okay. Well, I founded the Dandelion Project a few years back. It started out as a project in memory of my son, DJ, who I lost back in 1989 from complications to a pregnancy. And in 89, they didn't do support. They didn't do any of the stuff that they do today. So I kind of sat on that grief for a little while. In 2015, I lost my 18-year-old stepdaughter. Actually, her anniversary is next week. It will be 10 years, to a rare form of autoimmune encephalitis called anti-NMDA receptor encephalitis. And we lost her, and then 4 years later, we lost my daughter, Carrie, at 26, to an overdose of heroin with fentanyl and carfentanil. Carrie and I had wanted to start the Dandelion Project to honor her brother, and then we were going to tweak it to honor her sister, and then I had to tweak it to honor all three of them. So our primary focus is grief and trauma. I'm a grief counselor, and I work a lot with kids because I'm also in childcare for the last 41 years. So there's just a bigger need, and I know when everything we do is free to the community. It's free to a grieving parent. We don't charge for counseling. We don't charge for bereavement boxes. We put them out. We have sponsors for the bereavement boxes. They can sponsor one in memory of their child.
What's a bereavement box?
It's a box that we give a grieving family that contains like a stuffed animal, and we have themes. We have a dandelion theme, a cardinal theme, an angel theme. So it's all stuff for comfort for a grieving family. But another grieving family can sponsor that box for a family so that I don't ever have to charge. It goes back into it, and they get a little card in the box that says, this box has been sponsored by so-and-so in memory of their loved one, and we name them. So we've done about 30 of those since the last time we spoke. So that's been awesome. But I'm sorry, I got off track.
Oh, no, we were just talking about the background of the Dandelion Project and kind of catch us up to, the project's founding up to where we're at now.
Well, as a grieving parent, the first time I went into counseling and they wanted the money up front to cry on the couch, I couldn't help but think, I could do that at home. I can cry on my own couch at home, and it'll be a lot less than this. So as a grieving parent, I can't comfortably charge another parent. My goal is to hold their hands and ease it. They're never going to get over it. They're never going to move on, and I can't stand when people say that. But we can help ease their pain by being there and holding their hand and offering support. So we do the counseling and the coaching, and we do the boxes, and we do events. We do butterfly releases and memorial ceremonies with the various cemeteries and organizations that we work with. So that's been great.
Do you work just with deaths caused by drug overdose or other kinds of losses?
We work with all kinds of death. So I had a little boy who recently lost his lizard. And the mom came to me and she's like, I don't know what to do. I said, well, he's grieving. She's like, it was a lizard. And I said, that's okay. He's still grieving, which is going to cause behavior issues. So we need to focus on that. So anytime anybody is in grief, whether it's a child, whether it's an overdose, whether it's a veteran or a senior citizen, we're there. If you're grieving, we're there.
So that's what the Dandelion Project is focused in on.
Yes.
helping people that are grieving because of a loss of a loved one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how did you come up with the name?
So I guess it was before Quinn died. I was studying it was after Quinn died, because her mother, to no fault of her own, said, you don't know what it's like to bury a child. And I had spent all those years burying my grief for him, that it just kind of came out like, well, yes, I do. I buried a son. And then just as fast as it came on, it disappeared. But then I thought, oh, I'm not over this. I need some support. So I was going back to school to be a stillbirth doula. And the woman I was in school with said, oh my gosh, what you want to do sounds like the way a dandelion spreads its seeds, you want to spread love. She said, you should call it the Dandelion Project. And honestly, I was like, I'm not real, I don't know. And so when Carrie, right around this time, I also learned that Carrie was struggling with substance use disorder. And she used to draw a lot. She was a very talented artist. So 3 o'clock in the morning, she sends me a picture of a dandelion. And I'm like, why are you texting me at 3 in the morning? And she's like, well, why are you answering me? That was my daughter. And so I said, did I tell you that Miss Laura wanted to call it the Dandelion Project? She's like, Mom, we have a name. I'm like, yes, we do. So we called it the Dandelion Project. So our logo is actually my daughter's drawing. Mm-hmm. We tweaked it a little bit. My youngest stepdaughter and I, we tweaked it a little bit, and so that is the logo. So that's how it got named the Dandelion Project.
I love it. It is. It's now that you tell us the background of it, it's even more meaningful.
We have dandelions all over the house. Pictures, bedspreads. My poor husband, every time he's like, "What do you want?" Never mind, I know, dandelion.
Dandelion. Dandelion.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what goes on with the Dandelion Project. I know you're centered in Marion County in Ocala. Let's talk about what you do and how people who need some help getting over a loss of a loved one, how they get in touch with you. But start first with, how it's set up and how people interact with the Dandelion Project.
Well, we have a website, the dandelionproject.net. They can contact me through the website, the contact form. We are on Facebook, we are on LinkedIn, we're on Instagram. My phone number's out there. We do so many events with walks and memorials that it's not too hard to find me. Or somebody knows of me, so they'll say, hey, I know a person, and they'll send them over to me.
You have a website? Mm-hmm. So if you want to just Google Dandelion Project, it'll probably
It should,
come
yes.
up. Yeah.
But it's dandelionproject.net, and Dandelion Project is one word.
Correct. Okay. So talk about what goes on at Dandelion Project.
Well, like I said, we were busy creating the boxes. Highland also ordered 20 of the boxes, and I'm still a one-woman project. And I work full time, so it's a lot of work. But we do that, and we offer support, and we provide awareness. We will provide resources if it's something I can't help with, because it needs a little more than just a grief counselor or a coach. Then I can refer them to somebody else who can help them. And then we do a lot with infant and pregnancy loss. We do a lot with child loss, and now we're also starting a new program for overdose with the banners and adoption and foster care, because that has a lot to do with what I do now, and billboards, and we're just going. So,
now how did you? I know you've mentioned stepchildren, right? Mm-hmm. So how did you get into focusing in on adoption?
Well, working in childcare and working with a lot of the overdose or substance use disorder families, a lot of their kids are in the foster care system. I have a lot of parents at the school that I work for that are foster parents or that have adopted, and I've just seen too much in my 41 years with the system, and we need to get a better name out there for them. We need to encourage people to foster and to adopt, because there's children that need you, but there's children that need their families too. So if you can provide a family for them while their families are getting back on their feet, I mean, that's the best of both worlds.
Yeah, it's really wonderful that you're doing this, because there's so much going on right now. I know that You are excited because you're getting some of the resources to actually publicize what you're doing. You have a billboard going up in New Jersey,
Yes,
honoring not only your daughter but
21 others.
21 others. And the billboard says drugs are dangerous. Illicit fentanyl makes them what? Deadly? Fatal. Yeah. So let's talk about the change. It used to be methamphetamine was the most dangerous, and heroin overdose and things like that. Now we hear more and more about fentanyl. Fentanyl is a pharmaceutical drug used in hospitals.
Right.
Sometimes, however, it has become available in the mainstream, not as a pharmaceutical drug, not something that's controlled by doctors
Right.
and nurses, but by drug dealers. So let's talk about how that is kind of magnified in the last, 5 years, 10 years.
Well, Carrie overdosed on heroin that was laced with both fentanyl and carfentanil. And there were others that lost their lives through the same batch there. In New Jersey, she died in January 2019 in New Jersey. In New Jersey alone in 2019, there were over 3,000 people that lost their lives to an overdose, and most of those were fentanyl related. It just takes a pinhead drop of it or powder of it, and it's being packed in everything. I have a very good friend whose son was on Xanax, and when his prescription ran out, he bought it on the street, not realizing that it was pressed with fentanyl, and we've almost lost him 3 times now.
Wow.
And each time it's worse because they pack it. I'm not saying that they do it on purpose, but we've got people out there that are using straight fentanyl that you know that your chances of dying are very good.
Yeah, when you talk about, what you could fit on a pinhead, it's a very, very minute quantity. So that means it's a super powerful drug. And I think what the use was, it was as a pain reliever for severe pain in a hospital setting,
Yes.
right? It's like you're in the hospital. You broke your hip, and they're doing surgery on you, and they're going to give you a little bit of fentanyl for a very short period of time, for a couple days until maybe your pain level subsides a little bit.
Right, and they wean you off professionally.
And they wean you off professionally, and it's in a very controlled situation, as opposed to the opposite, okay, which is people that don't know what the hell they're doing, who are probably on drugs themselves, who are also trying to make as much money as they can themselves, and they don't even realize that they're dealing with one of the most dangerous illicit, deadly. Yeah. So has fentanyl use increased greatly over the last 5 years or so?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, they'll tell you that there's not as much overdose and there's not enough death, but I can tell you that working in the field, it's increased.
So, yeah, and that statistic may be because it's mixed with other drugs. So if you take somebody who's been a heroin addict but hadn't killed them, and then you throw in some fentanyl, then all of a sudden, boom, that's a deadly dose. Same thing with methamphetamine.
Yes.
Look, heroin, methamphetamine are certainly horrible, bad drugs when they're used on the street.
Alone, right.
Yeah. Well, I guess the point that Lisa's making is when you add fentanyl to the mix, it's accelerating the deadliness of these drugs, and a lot of times people don't even know that there's fentanyl in it.
That's correct.
So that's a huge difference, because all of a sudden there's this deadly drug. Now, what do? Try to replicate what a pharmaceutical fentanyl is in labs where they make it illicitly?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. That would be a question for somebody who's a little more heavily involved in it. But it is, I mean, it's brought over here, it's manufactured here, and then it's put into the pills or the needles, the syringes. And it's just, I mean, we're losing generations of kids. We're even losing little kids. We have, one of the organizations has a trailer. And there's a 14-month-old baby on that trailer that lost her life to fentanyl. And why is that possible? You know, that shouldn't be happening. And, you know, as we mentioned before, when you buy any kind of street drug, you're playing Russian roulette because you just don't know.
Yeah, this isn't 1970 with somebody trying to buy a lid of pot, right?
Right.
It's a whole different deal. Literally, we can kind of, joke a little bit about it, but it's basically you are playing Russian roulette when you're buying street drugs, even, marijuana. Yes. They're lacing it with marijuana. They're lacing it in all kinds of drugs. Fortunately, for people who choose to do marijuana, at least in most states, there's some access to it legally where you have controlled distribution. Yeah, and look, I'm not telling anybody to go get a marijuana license, but if you're going to smoke marijuana, you probably should go get a marijuana license because you can't trust what's going on the streets anymore. So that's very important. I think for me, I really am encouraged because you're doing something to help others while you're helping yourself as well.
Yes, it is a healing for me. A lot of people ask me why I do what I do, and it's my way of healing. Every banner, every billboard, every interview like this means that Carrie is saving a life, and if she only saves one life every time I do this, then she didn't die in vain, and I refuse to let that be her fate.
Yeah, and I think you're very passionate about and aware. And earlier, you had mentioned to me that you don't quote unquote get over it.
Right.
Right. And some people bury their grief, and it surfaces in not so good ways later on. Mm-hmm. It can lead to depression, drinking excessively, drugs excessively, dropping out of society.
Your mental health will decline.
And you need to have healthy social engagement in this world. It's actually one of the most important factors in living older.
My pastor says that all the time.
Yeah, no, it's true. I'm getting older, and I was looking at the factors. Certainly genetics is important. Certainly social interaction is really important. And then your nutrition. You got to have good sleep, right? You got to have exercise.
And a grieving individual will neglect all of that.
All of the above. Right?
And they don't want to hear. So basically, what I can do is just sit there and remind them: if you're no good, you're no good to help anybody if you're not helping yourself first. So let's get you over the hump, and then we'll figure out what your meaning is and what your purpose is, and how you can go on from here.
So we're talking with Lisa Bolton from the Dandelion Project. Lisa, can you tell us about some of the events that are coming up?
Oh, I would love to. We were just at Recovery Fest this past weekend at Tuscaloosa in Ocala. Next month, we will be going up to New Jersey for our first billboard that is actually being put up in the area that Carrie and I are from. So that's very exciting. Christy, the founder of Leona's Legacy of Love, contacted me and asked me if I would like to do a billboard, and the first thing I thought of was New Jersey. And we were lucky to get it where Carrie and I are from. So It'll be a big event up there. One of the local pubs, the Naughty Pine, is hosting it for us, doing a buffet, and we have guest speakers, and it's going to be a really great event. I'm looking forward to it. I try to go up to New Jersey once a year because that's where we're from, to raise awareness up there too. But we'll go anywhere. So if anybody wants us in another state, we're there. Then in November, we have two events I'm very excited about. We have teamed up with Highland Park Cemetery to do their annual event, evening of reflection. So we're going to do a walk and a butterfly release.
And what city is that in?
It's in Ocala.
Right. For those of you that don't know, the Highland Park Cemetery that we're talking about is in Ocala.
Is in Ocala.
And the cemeteries are beautiful. They're
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous.
So
we'll do the evening of reflection where we'll have bounce houses, things for kids' activities, vendors, food trucks, and then we'll have a candlelit ceremony, and we'll do a reading of the names, and we'll have military honors because it's an evening for everybody. So no matter what your loss is, you can come on out with us, and we can celebrate your losses. We're also putting in a wind phone at the cemetery. I'm one of those people that I don't know, I must have too much time on my hands. But I was doing something for something else, and I came across this idea. It's called a wind phone. And it's a rotary phone, and it's placed somewhere, and you can go and talk to your loved one that is lost. And send a message up to heaven or wherever, whatever your belief is. So I spoke to the people that I'm working with for the event, and they love the idea, and the phone is going to be here soon, and it will be up for that event, but we're hoping to get it up even before that. So we're real excited about it, all of us.
Lisa, what's a wind phone look like?
So, well, it can be anything. It's the main focus is a rotary phone, and I don't know why, but it was.
You mean like old school?
Yeah, like old school. Remember when you had to dial it?
Yeah.
I remember when they added area codes and you had to do 3 more of those numbers, and I was like, oh God, you're kidding. If I were to look at one of my students at the daycare I work for and say rotary phone, they'd probably look at me like I was insane because I don't think they would even know.
It's funny. We have a 1941 home, and there's phone kind of indentations around the home because you had your rotary phone, and then you had a big thick phone book underneath
I
it,
remember
depending
the phone
on the
book.
size of the city. You're from New Jersey, so
it was
really
Yes,
thick,
it
right?
was.
And so whenever people join us in our home, I'll say, you know what this is? If they're under 40, they have no clue.
Oh, no, they have no idea.
No clue. And maybe under 60, I don't know.
Yeah,
because,
still pushing it.
However, I remember them in our home. And
Oh yeah, we had them in ours too.
Yeah, of
Well,
course.
it looks kind of like a payphone, so it's gonna be up on a tree. It's in a very, very, very beautiful spot by the pond at Highland. So there'll be a bench, and they can sit, and there'll be like paper they can write a letter or a journal or whatever, and talk to their loved one on the phone. So we're very excited about that.
I really love that idea because the cemetery's private. It's peaceful.
Yeah, we found a very secluded spot, so
Yeah.
it'll be nice. And my goal is to get some up in other cemeteries. Even, I'm going to try it when I'm up in New Jersey. I'm going to see if I can meet with somebody to get them up there because I think it's a really, really good idea. Sometimes people don't want to talk to you directly, but or they feel like, I'm talking to a loved one, give them a phone, and even though it's really not plugged in or anything, they're still talking to their loved one, and that message is going to get to them.
Right. And we don't understand the universe completely. So
That's right. That's right.
I wouldn't poo-poo the fact that your loved one just may be in tune with what you're saying.
Right, so if the cardinal or the butterfly or the dragonfly lands by you while you're talking, they're there.
They're there.
They're there.
So, and that's, powerful both for the person who's grieving and for the whole family that's around them, because one person in severe depression throws off the whole family balance. And,
Yes, it does.
you may have, everybody is grieving appropriately, whatever that means. But grieving appropriately to me is, you're acknowledging your loss, but you're trying to figure out how to deal with it in a healthy way. And a healthy way is making sure that you don't cut yourself off because
Yes.
the loss has overwhelmed you.
I try and check up on my clients as often as I can. Just even if it's a quick text or a quick email, just say, hey, I was thinking of you, just checking in. Sometimes they answer, sometimes they don't, but at least they know they have the option of being able to answer me or know that somebody is out there, thinking about them. And if they need it, I'm a phone call away.
Well, that's wonderful.
The following weekend, we are excited because we have, on November 22nd, we have our first annual Adoption and Foster Care Day, which is something I've worked closely with families that have adopted and foster care being in child care. And it's just, we need to bring some more awareness to the system. But we are hosting that on November 22nd at the Dirty South Saloon in Leesburg from 12 to 4. Lots of kid activities. We're trying to get a real pet adoption in there, but there's going to be a table where the kids can actually adopt a stuffed animal, and we'll go through the whole process. And then face painting in a bounce house, and hopefully a special guest visit from Santa is going to happen. We're hoping that he'll come and pick up some letters that we're going to have the kids write.
Yeah, that's right before,
right before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so that's pretty exciting.
His downtime, maybe. We'll get him to come and pick up.
So anyhow, I want to thank you so much for coming on.
Can we talk about the banners real quick?
Oh, yeah,
I'm so sorry.
Let's talk about the banners. Go ahead, Lisa.
So we have created, too many times we focus so much on overdose and loss and not enough on recovery. And if we want more people to go and be in recovery, we need to focus on them as well. So we have developed a set of banners with 12 faces on each, 12 faces of loss on one, 12 faces of recovery on the other, to show that for every loss, we have one that is saved. So they get printed in sets. So until they both have 12 faces, they don't get printed. We are finishing up set 4. I'm hoping to be able to take the first 5 sets up to New Jersey with me. And I think that's going to happen. But the Dandelion Project has covered these first 5 banners. They're at no charge to anybody. So we're going to start looking for sponsors and donors so that we can continue with the mission of giving back to the community and not charging a grieving family. If they want to, by all means, they can sponsor, but we would rather keep that with us.
Well, look, if the grieving family has assets that they want to contribute, it may be part of the healing process because they're actually doing something tangible to help others.
Yes.
And at the same time themselves. However, the last thing you want to do is put pressure on somebody who doesn't have the financial resources. They're grieving. They
or they're in recovery. We want to say you can't be on the banner because you can't afford it. That's not the
right.
goal here. The goal is to encourage it.
But let's mention to everybody again how they can get on the banner. I have dandelionproject.net.
Yes,
right?
That's our website.
Phone number 973-271-8986. And that will probably lead you to Lisa Bolton.
Yes, it will. That is my cell phone. My email is lisa@dandelionproject.net. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn.
Well, are there any other things we need to go over today?
I think we covered them all now.
Hey, look, I'll tell you, if there's one thing that you can really take action on, is go to dandelionproject.net and see if there's something that resonates with you. You can give Lisa a call. You can respond through the internet, whatever works best for you. Please do it, because there's a lot of loss going on. Some of it can be overdose through drugs. Some of it is just what happens in life. Whether it's losing a child at birth, whether it's losing a child later on in life to other causes.
A sibling, a parent, a grandparent.
Grandparents. I
mean, a pet.
Yeah. So, if we all stick together and support each other, science has shown that has a huge impact on recovery, and it also winds up having a positive effect influencing others maybe not to put themselves into dangerous situations. So that's a great message. I want to thank you again for joining us,
Well,
Lisa
thank you so
Bolton.
much for having me
Yeah,
again.
Lisa, it's always fun
Yes.
seeing you, and I'm just so amazed at everything that you do. I can't imagine having a full-time schedule plus doing what you do, but obviously it's something that you're passionate about.
It
So
is.
Thank you from myself, and thank you from the community for everything that you do.
Thank you.
And that's going to be the end of part one for Meldon Law and Friends for today, but we're going to be back in just a few minutes. I've got some exciting announcements to tell you about. We'll be back in just a minute.
Jeffrey, what are you doing?
Well, I'm joining the band, of course. Since Meldon Law is the official law firm partner of the Florida Gators, I want to help.
Dad, we're litigators. Let's stick to helping people in the courtroom.
Well, can we still hang out and jam a little bit? At Meldon Law, we won't back down.
I was going down a one-way street and a girl that was driving her car T-boned me on my scooter. I ended up going for an MRI and discovering that I had 2 herniated discs. Coming to Cary allowed me to not have to worry about what doctor I was going to see or what physical therapist I had to go to. They say, these are the people we trust. You're going to have a great experience there, and I honestly did each time.
Call Meldon Law. Your consultation is absolutely free.
And I was in an accident. Someone ran a red light and hit me, and I was hurt. You don't know where to turn. Luckily, I called Jeffrey. These big insurance companies, they don't want you to win. They truly don't. But Jeffrey and his firm and the people that work here, they just really fight for you. You call the law offices of Jeffrey Meldon because you're going to need help, and they will help you.
Call Meldon Law right now.
Hey, Sammy, look who's there. Say hi.
Hey!
You again.
Meldon Law, Jeffrey speaking.
Somebody else hit us.
Here we go again. Welcome back to Meldon Law and Friends. I'm Jeffrey Meldon, attorney and founder at Meldon Law. A lot of great things going on at Meldon Law. We now have offices in Gainesville, Ocala, the Villages, Wildwood, Lake City, and our newest office is in Aventura, in North Miami area, as well as Fort Lauderdale. We've had our Fort Lauderdale office for about 9 years now, and we decided to expand into the Miami area because my daughter Jessica, who's been an attorney for 16 years, has decided to join Meldon Law, which we're very excited about, and she's going to do a terrific job as far as helping us grow the firm and, in turn, doing more to give back to the community, because that's one of the ethos that's well branded in Meldon Law. It's important to help others, and with our success, we always want to donate back to the community. Very, very important. So let's talk about some exciting things coming up. We got the World Equestrian Center, September 24th through the 28th, starting in the morning into the afternoon. They're doing regional hunter and level 2 jumper classes performing. Really talented riders and horses. It's thrilling equestrian performances. I think you'll love it. If you haven't been out to World Equestrian Center, you need to get out there. I think that the World Equestrian Center is like the Disney World for horse people, so take advantage of it. It's right in our own backyard, and it's pretty cool. This is free, too, so sometimes they charge you, but this one, it's free, and parking's included. Next, the Texas Longhorns coming to Gainesville for a huge game against the Gators. Texas will take on the Gators at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium on Steve Spurrier Field, and we're here at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill right now. My good friend, the head ball coach, has done an amazing job along with Freddie Wiebe in creating this extraordinary environment. People from SEC and other big-time college schools are really eager to try to have something like Spurrier's Gridiron Grill in their own backyard. However, so far, there's only one. It's right here in our own hometown of Gainesville, Florida. Easy to get to from Marion County. Just jump on I-75 and you'll be here in a flash. So let's support a great not only restaurant but museum. When you get here, plan some extra time to look at the museum pieces here at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. What else? Tribute to Tom Petty. Broken Hearts, that's the name of the tribute band, in Ocala at the Riley, October 11th at 7:30. The Riley does great shows. You'll really enjoy it. It's right in the center. Also, Meldon Law is sponsoring Tom Petty Weekend at the Heartwood Sound Studios in Gainesville, Florida. It's going to be a huge event this year. 3 big days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and tickets are available. Go to the website, tompettyweekend.com, and you'll see Meldon Law is sponsoring the Wallflowers, headed up by Jacob Dylan, Bob Dylan's son. And for those of you that didn't know, Bob Dylan and Tom Petty were very good friends. They did the Traveling Wilburys album 1 and 2 together, and it was what a success. I love that album, both of them. But anyhow, Jacob Dylan grew up around Tom Petty and knew his music, and has a whole set of Tom Petty songs. So check it out, Tom Petty Weekend. It's going to be an amazing event this year, and they really stepped it up over at Heartwood. Great new restaurants, really good entertainment. The facilities have been upgraded. It's a real gift that Ho Chitam and everybody over at Heartwood gives to the Gainesville and the regional community. If you're in Ocala, get off your butt and come on up to Gainesville and check out the Tom Petty Weekend. It's going to be a terrific weekend with tribute to Tom Petty from really, really fine groups. So don't forget it. And last but not least, I want to talk about my book, 7 Mistakes That Can Wreck Your Florida Accident Case. It's a consumer protection guide, easy to read, and we give it away free. You can go on my website at meldonlaw.com or call us at 352-373-8000 to get your free copy. What's important about it is that whether you hire a lawyer or not, you need to read the book if you have been in an accident. So we put it online on our website. So in the event you have an accident, just go to our homepage and see what you can do in order to make it happen. I think that the book is laid out in an easy-to-read format, and you can go to whatever chapters are affecting you at that moment. So all you have to do is take a look. You'll see right up front, we have what we call our quick takes and our quick hits. I'm sorry. There's 15 quick hits in the book. It summarizes the whole book in 2 pages, and wow, it's free. So take advantage of it, because the insurance industry is a for-profit industry. They're interested in paying as little as possible to increase their profits. That's what a lot of successful businesses do. The problem is that they try to use deceptive tactics, like trying to be your friend when their goal is to pay you less money than you would get if you went to an attorney. We get over 3.4 times what the insurance industry will pay you on your own. What does that tell you about their desire to con you up front? When I say con you, they'll call you, they'll be nice, they'll be your friend. Oh, you don't need a lawyer, we're going to take care of you. Every time they do that, it's cha-ching, 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 more money in their pocket. I can guarantee you they're not going to pay you anywhere close to what having an attorney will make them pay. They have a plan. Their plan is talk to you, be nice. It's we're here to help you. We've got great hands, and sometimes their hands are where you don't want them to be, if you know what I mean. Anyhow, that's my wrap on 7 mistakes that can wreck your Florida accident case. I have revised this book over the years, so it's current. And it's very important to know how to protect yourself and your family. Again, go to meldonlaw.com. At the top of the homepage, you will see the book available for immediate download and a PDF version. The other book, of course, that's available at the same place is our book, Buying Florida Auto Insurance, and it provides information on what kind of insurance you need ahead of time, because once you're in a crash, you cannot go and buy insurance which is going to cover that crash, only things that happen in the future. We're here to help. If you've been in a serious accident, please give us a call, 352-373-8000, or go to meldonlaw.com. Again, I want to thank you very much for listening and watching Meldon Law and Friends, and we'll see you next week for another special edition of Meldon Law and Friends.